Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of the BWF podcast. I am your host, Aaron Bishop, aka The Bish. And this week, we are going to deep dive into one of the greatest feudals and matches of all time. That is Macho Man, Randy Savage, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. Also, this week, my co host will eat some disgusting shit like canned mushrooms. And hopefully, we get to see this man puke. Speaking of my co host, G. Patrick Condon, how are you today?
Thanks for the great introduction there. Yeah, I did lose the predictions, the Fastlane's predictions, and it was that. Of course, it was going to be that damned woman match. Was the thing that sunk me in the end, and it
Indeed, it
was
was.
women's wrestling. And once again, it's the best. So, anyways, yeah. Now, as a result of me losing the bet, losing the predictions, I have to eat some sliced mushrooms, and I got to put that on some ice cream, and that'll be a nice little treat that we do later in the week or later in the episode, I should say. Um, where can people check out our podcast and our video podcast, Aaron?
Check out our podcast at BWF Podcasts at Gmail. Sorry. that's our email. Check us out at bwfpodcast.com.
Hell yes, and yeah, and from there you can send us an email, and we will read it off. We'll read some comments that we received in a few minutes, but I guess we should start it all off with everybody's favorite. Well, no, it's not everybody's favorite. We've just established this. I am currently just talking until I find the correct button. Here it is. It's BWF News. All right, Aaron. What do we got going on this week?
Yeah. The news this week, I guess we could start off with CM Punk not re-signing with the WWE. He will not be at Survivor Series. What do you think about
That's right.
that?
Yeah, well, it's not only that he won't be resigning. He attempted to and reached out to the WWE, and they said no thanks. Do you believe it? Do you think we'll never see CM Punk in the WWF ring ever again?
This is a fucking red herring, man. He's going to be at Survivor Series. How could he not be at Survivor Series in Chicago? I mean, if he's not, I mean, wow, I guess he really did burn all the bridges in the world, and it is what it is. But man, he's got to be at Survivor Series. You can't tell me that crowd's not going to be chanting his name all fucking night long. I mean, come on.
It's true. I'm going to be there. I'm going to make sure that people are chanting for it. I don't know if it's a red herring like you say, or if they're just trying to keep him humble and maybe rejecting him first. Give him a little slap on the wrist, reality check, say we don't need you, pal, and maybe to ensure that he comes in a little bit more humble than how he went into AEW.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, just sign him last minute, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I would love to see. I'm going to that show, as I said, and I will continue to say continuously up until and including that show. But I'd love to see him there. Don't know how quickly it happens. Um, but speaking of AEW, they got their little heinies spanked by NXT this week, handedly winning the Tuesday Night Wars or
Disney
whatever, Tony
World.
Khan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tony Khan has really sort of started to go off the deep end, I'm finding, the last couple of months. It's a little disheartening.
You think the cocaine's getting to his brain or what? Is
You
it?
think that's what it is? I can't see him. I don't know. I think he's probably on a lot of Adderall. I mean, when you're rich, I don't think you're doing street drugs, and I think he's autistic too, which all good, no problem there. But it certainly goes into um, explaining his odder behaviors. I don't know if you saw the tweet that he put out after they whooped his ass, saying that that the NXT show was the lowest rated show that the Undertaker or John Cena had been on ever.
Ever.
Yeah, which I don't know. I mean, I kind of agree that he needs to start taking a back seat. I think Vince Russo said this recently. Is like Tony Khan is like the number one baby face in his own promotion, and it didn't used to be like that. You know, when AEW started off, Tony Khan was not mentioned once, and then he took the reins over at the end of 2019, and he was very much like a not seen nor heard and rarely referenced figure, and everybody really liked that. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. It's the
Now,
way it should be.
yeah, now he's all over the place. You remember when Kenny Omega won the title? He was going over to Impact, and so Tony Khan bought time on Impact, and it was really over the top. He was doing these promos with Shivani. Do you remember those?
I didn't watch it. No.
Oh my god, it's so funny. Anyways, he was doing kind of the Vince McMahon Memphis thing where he was over the top shitting on Impact, saying, you know, he's bought time on there and that's the most money that they've seen in ages at Impact Wrestling. And but now this is just the way that he is all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, it's so it's not good. He's really starting to turn into a mark, kind of going down the Dixie Carter path, I think.
He worked himself into a shoot.
Yeah, it's too bad because I still find myself rooting and hoping for AEW. Like I was disappointed that they lost so badly on Tuesday. Um, so I can't help it, but I find it hard to really enjoy what they're doing.
Yeah, they're definitely cold, like Meltzer said, or somebody said it recently that they're very cold, and they are. I mean, if you've seen Pit, now I know they're not selling at the arenas, the big arenas, but did you hear that they cannot um, leave the big arenas? Even though they're not selling the tickets, they can't go to the small arenas because for the next year they're locked into these contracts and they're going to lose all these down deposits and all this stuff. So they have to keep running these 12,000 seat arenas, and while their attendance record is like 2, 3, 4,000 tops, it's not good.
Ouch. Yeah, optically that does not look good. Because every week people are posting the empty seats, and that perception becomes the reality. So it's not good.
No. But you know what? They still keep putting on good pay-per-views, and apparently their pay-per-view numbers are up. You know, they're doing really good that way. I don't know. Hopefully they turn it around somehow.
Yeah, I hope so too. I really hope though that Full Gear is not a good pay per view because that I was deciding between going to Full Gear in Los Angeles or Survivor Series, and after going to my last 3 or 4 or 5 shows were AEW shows, and they were all like I went there to go see Kenny Omega, I went there to see Miro, and neither of those guys were booked on any of the shows that I went. So sort of like
Man,
you
it
go
is
to
what it
WWE, you know, I know I'm going to see Cody Rhodes. I know I'm going to see who else do I want to see? Roman. I guess I'll see Roman.
is. Do you want to see Roman? Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Who else? Yeah, I don't know.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, Kevin Owens. Yeah, I wanted to see Kevin Owens for a while. I'd like to see AJ Styles too. I've never
Okay.
seen him live, so you know. Have you seen AJ?
I saw him on the SmackDown in Calgary recently.
Oh yeah,
I was actually
cool.
really happy that he was there wrestling because he was one of the people I never got to see wrestle.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it was
So
great.
That's where I'm at too. And of course, LA Knight will be a good person to see, and you saw him as well at the Calgary SmackDown.
Mhm.
Okay, any other news?
Not that important. I don't think so.
All right, well, let's move it along to the mailbag. Now, Mr. Bishop, as we've been doing on occasion here, since we've really ramped up our social media presence, we've been taking a look at some of the comments that we're getting, and I've been really infatuated with this guy that we have, Daniel Morsey. It seems like you guys have been just constantly in each other's DMs this whole week. So when last we left off with Daniel, I think we left it off with you guys. Oh, with him calling you out for not really ever seeing what's her name? I want to say what's
Oh,
Tasha
Blanchard.
Tessa
Tessa Blanchard.
Blanchard, right, in the hot tub, and so since then he has just been going on a real spree with you, talking. And is this guy from Newfoundland? Do you know?
I have no idea where this guy's from. No idea.
Because he did say something like, uh, um, I think I saw him say bye at some like bye, like yes, bye. Anyways,
Oh,
he
yeah.
asks you, do you know exactly how did Seth Rollins get that wrestling name? Upside down question mark. And so, Aaron, can you give the fans at home any insight as to how Seth Rollins got his name? Because his name for real is not Seth Rollins, right? What's his name in real life?
Colby Lopez is his real name.
It's a real
And
bitch name, if you ask me.
bitch
Not
name,
how it
isn't it?
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Seth Rollins, Colby Lopez, yeah, he got his name Rollins from the lead singer of, oh fuck it. What's the lead? I have the band's name there anyway, but Henry Rollins is the lead singer of a band that Rollins really likes. He's an idol apparently of his, so he decided to take his last name.
That's right. Black Flag was
Black
Henry
Flag.
Rollins, and but then would go on to be in the Henry Rollins band. And then he wants to know, what about the Seth name though? How exactly, he says again, how exactly did he come up with that one upside down? Um, question mark. Any thoughts or insight into Seth?
The WWE just gave it to him. That's just a name that they chose for him.
So Seth has no meaning whatsoever. Now, speaking of names that the WWE has bestowed upon people, did you see what Brian Pillman Jr. is going to be known as moving forward?
Yeah, I did. Lexus King. Now, apparently, Alexis comes from his dead sister's name, Alexis. So I can see that. King. I'm not sure where the King comes from. Do you know?
Allegedly, it's his stepfather's last name or something like that, or his mom remarried, and that's what his last name is. So Lexus King. I mean,
Also, he just totally abandons his dead father's wrestling heritage by ditching his last name and then taking the guy who banged his mom after. Cool. All right.
well, I mean, I at first I agree with you, but then it's like, do you really want like to box this guy into always being Brian Pillman Jr., you know? So maybe getting away from that whole name is good for him. And the name sounds a little corny, but so did Braun Breaker, so did LA Knight, so did um when Walter went to Gunther. Like, these names always sound a little bit weird when they first are announced, but then, soon enough, we're just saying it without any sort of second thought.
Fair enough.
Okay, and one last question from Daniel Morrissey, which is, do you like Back to the Future?
Back to the Future is my favorite movie of all time.
Is it
And no,
really?
it is. And I can't even give you a favorite one, two, or three, because I love all of them equally.
Even
If I had,
three. Everybody hates three.
especially three.
Wow.
Especially three.
Wow, the Western one. Okay, and it's a bit weird that Daniel Morrissey knew that happened to be your favorite movie. So now I'm wondering, once again, is this one of your friends coming on here and creating havoc and being nonsense and ruining this show that I bleed for? What do you think?
Absolutely not. I have no idea who Daniel Morrissey is. But hey, Daniel, if you're listening or watching, thanks for writing. Keep it up, man. Fucking, I'm all for it. But yeah, I have no idea who you are.
Okay. Allegedly. I thought we had another guy that. Oh yes. This is in relation to one of the ads that you put out. It was just the audio version of last week's Edge and Christians, and this is from. I don't know, Tony Super Cammy Bradbury, who says, bitch wanting to fuck wrestling piss off. Don't ever message me again, slimy fucks.
This is legit. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. So,
Holy fuck.
how do you respond?
I did not, because he blocked me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't respond to him.
Oh, yeah, I see that there now. My God. Well, I guess he wasn't joking around about that. Don't ever message me again, slimy fuck. So, I'm telling
I
you.
wouldn't.
No. If that's his actual picture there, he doesn't look like the type of guy you'd really want to have in your life anyways. So, sorry for bothering you. Is it Tony? Tony Super Comedy Bradbury.
Something fucking stupid. I don't know.
Okay. All right. There's no need to take your anger out on him. Okay. And last viewer, I guess, incident is right before we came on air. Aaron, you sent me over the intro to what is now hilariously known as the Buddy Watching Football podcast, which is
The bros watching football.
Is it the Bum Buddies?
No, not the bum buddies. Not the bum buddies. Now, come on now. It's the bros.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a couple of bros, bum buddies, watching football. A couple of tight ends. So you've gone out and you've provoked Andrew Skinner to ruining his own podcast now to get at me. He's been doing that show for how many years? Like 7 or 8 years. He's probably the first guy. What was the name? What was the name of that podcast before he changed it over to the BWF podcast? Something very catchy. What was it?
The Weekly Fantasy Roundup.
Yeah, it's amazing. He must have been the first one. And now that name's available, I guess, for anybody that's doing weekly fantasy roundups of all of the sports that are there. So, Skinner, you've gone from having a very original name to just taking the BWF name. And, one last thing that I'll say about this, Aaron, is that when we've had many controversies and conversations on our own podcast about the naming of this, as we both know, you picked this name, and we both know why. It's because it's the Bishop Wrestling Federation, and so now you want to poison Andrew Skinner's brand by bringing your name over to that piece of shit show. So now everything is the BWF. You're wearing that shirt, your own merch like a mark. And I take it back. It's not a piece of shit show. Actually, I listened to the intro of it, and I thought Skinner does a great job. He, very much like myself, is just fucking pulling your ass across the finish line weekly, and giving you an outlet. So I commend Skinner, and I hope his back isn't as sore as mine for carrying that podcast. Yeah. And I'd like to invite him on the show next week, actually, if he happens to be available, because I have a proposition for him. And Aaron, it's one that you're not going to like.
Oh, all right. I can't wait to see what this is all about.
All right. I'm putting up this thing here. Okay, that was enough silliness. So, I guess let's get into it. It's the linchpin of our show. Every segment is something interesting, and my gosh, even this thing, the BWF Chronicles.
Oh, the Chronicles.
Everybody loves the Chronicles. Everybody loves those Chronicles. We've chronicled so much in our time here. We've gone from the beginnings of Stargate. Is it? What is it called? Star. What is it? Starcade. The beginnings of Wrestlemania to the Reign of Terror, which is right now our third highest, most popular podcast show. And I want to let our fans know that we will be picking up part 2 of the Reign of Terror very soon. Aaron, this week we're going back to the classics. We're trying to reel in the wrestling marks, the old school guys, because those are the guys with the disposable income, and we get those guys hooked, like those Cornette guys. We hook them, then they start buying those shirts, and then you don't got to wear them anymore.
Thank God. Only $50 a pop.
That is insane. Whoever got you that deal is not your friend. So set us up here, Mr. Bishop, for the Macho Man versus, can you do a Ricky Steamboat impression?
No, I cannot. I don't even know how to go about doing Ricky Steamboat impression.
I don't know. Does he speak English?
He's just really mild-mannered. No, he's just so mild-mannered in his promos. I mean, he points his finger a lot. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do Ricky Dragon in Steamboat impression. Hey, you'll see later on in this episode.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's set it up here, Bish. One of the most memorable and recognizable matches of the early WWF Golden Era is the Macho Man and the Ricky Dragon Steamboat feud. How did it all get to where it is? I don't know.
Well, we start this in about 1986, 1987. Macho Man has just won the Intercontinental Championship from Tito Santana, and he starts a feud with George the Animal Steele. Now, in real life, behind the scenes, George the Animal Steele was a really good friend of the Macho Man's father, and he knew Macho Man since he's a little macho baby, and Macho Man actually had free reign to scout his opponents in real life, and he could pick and choose who he wanted to feud with. So if you're ever wondering why the hell Macho Man was feuding with George the Animal Steele going into WrestleMania 2, it's because Macho Man picked him as a favor to his father.
Cool. Interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah. So shortly after WrestleMania 2, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat comes back from injury. He was just injured in an angle with Jake the Snake Roberts. He got DDT'd on the concrete, knocked him out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's back when the DDT meant something.
that's right. It actually did stuff. So yeah, Steamboat was out for a while. So now he's coming back. Um, he mentions in one of his promos, every time he gets to the top of the ladder, he gets knocked back down. He had the feud with Don the Rock Morocco where he was hung over the top rope with like actual lasso and the actual hung, and had the aforementioned
Yeah, that was
DDT.
right. You got it. That was the right word. Yep.
Yeah, spit it out right.
Nailed it. You nailed it.
Nailed it. Yeah, we're live, folks. No editing here. So yeah, every time he gets to the top of the ladder, something happens to him, and now he's challenging the Macho Man Randy Savage to a match on the Superstars of Wrestling in 1987.
Okay, and so where are we picking this little clip up? They have a back and forth match. Is it any indication of the classic that they'll eventually put on WrestleMania 3, or what kind of a match is this? An angle match?
It's an angle match, yeah. These guys have actually fought a couple times before. The Wrestling Classic was probably the most famous one between the two. But this is it's an angle match. He said it's not a long match, but here we're going to see the Macho Man take a ring bell and crush. Oh, we're gonna watch. Okay, so we're gonna see Randy Savage crush the throat of Steamboat over the guardrail. Boom,
wow.
right there, choking.
Yeah.
Yeah, brutal shit. There's the tongues and everything. Yeah.
Everything, yeah. And Macho brings him back into the ring, and so is that it, or how does Macho put a punctuation into this vicious beatdown?
Vicious attack
Yes.
from the Macho Man. Yeah, it's emphasized by the ring bell being driven into the larynx of Ricky the Dragon, as we can hear right, boom, right there. Throat is crushed.
Oh my God! Look at that selling.
Look at that selling. Yeah.
Can't breathe. So, I mean, they stretch him out, I imagine. And Ricky has a real good deal with the WWE. Apparently, he comes in, does a couple of matches, gets injured, goes away for a bit. What happens next? I mean, with Macho not having anybody to work with, where do we go?
Macho Man is very busy. He's wrestling every single week on Wrestling Challenge, Wrestling Superstars. People like Coco Beware, Billy Jack Haynes.
Hold on. That's WWE Hall of Famer Coco Beware, Mr. Bishop.
Sad but true fact.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I think one that we established as the worst WWF Hall of Fame person on this show earlier this year. Anyways, Continue. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, literally over the next like 7, 8, 9 months, he's wrestling every single week, just like these people, like I just said, like the jobberish type, the Coco Beware type. And it gets down to the point where even the announcers like Vince McMahon and Jesse the Body Ventura, they're saying Macho's wrestling too much. He's wearing down. He's going to catch up to him eventually. And in between all this, we see doctor vignettes segments for Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. The doctor's out with Mean Gene Okerlund, and he's saying that it could be fatal for Ricky Steamboat to ever wrestle again if he gets punched in the throat.
Wow.
Yeah, and he may not learn how to speak. He may not speak ever again, so he's got to learn how to do that. So Steamboat has to go through speech therapy, all kinds of crazy shit.
Nice. Well, I mean, it's a good thing we already established that nobody knows what he sounds like anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So what's Macho Man doing on his backstage vignettes? Because those are the classics. Everybody remembers Macho Man for his backstage. Does he do any good ones on this?
Oh, he has a few. I know that he has the cream of the crop one. That comes sometime. I can't remember if it's cream of the crop, if it's before or after WrestleMania, but it's around this time. But Macho Man, yeah, there's another one here that I thought that was really, really good. He makes fun of Steamboat. He just fucking roasts him. Just listen to Macho Man here. Can't hear. I love that. I thought that was really good.
That's brutal. Yeah. So he's learning sign language. And you don't
Yeah.
want to give a guy like Macho Man that kind of insight into your personal life because he'll attack you for it, which you did.
Mhm. So next, what do we got next? Do we actually have a Ricky Steamboat video we can show the folks of him trying to learn how to speak again?
Is this so we have what do we have here? We got Mean Gene with the doctor, and then we have Ricky with the lady.
Yeah, let's go Ricky and the lady.
Wow. Holy shit. That's crazy. Wow. It's I've never seen such an emotional grunt from him before, but that's how the baby faces get the fans on their side, I guess. So what happens after Ricky learns how to speak again?
Ricky learns how to speak and he gets cleared from the doctor to come back to wrestle the Macho Man at WrestleMania 3 for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yes, okay, and we'll pick that up uh, after the break. Because we loved it so much last week, we're doing predictions in lieu of trivia. The beautiful thing about having a pay per view calendar like this is that there's always something on, no matter what weekend. And so we had to do a little bit of digging this week, and we're only going to do one match because, Bish, I think you are only confident in one of the matches that's happening tomorrow night. New Japan Pro Wrestling is doing Royal Quest.
Royal Quest, that's right. Yeah.
Their landmark, trademark pay per view. I've never missed a Royal Quest yet. How about you?
I'll be honest, I've never heard of Royal Quest. I don't know if this is the first one ever or not, but whatever, it doesn't matter because they have one of the matches that I've always wanted to see, at least in the past 10 to 15 years. This is a dream match of mine. Will Ospreay versus Zack Sabre Jr. Two of the best to never step foot in a WWE ring are going at it. And my God, this is going to be a 5-star match. Whether you're a wrestling fan now or not, if you ever been a wrestling fan, you got to at least take your time sometime within the next few days. Check this match out. It's going to be fucking fantastic.
So you're already saying from even before it's being wrestled, you're saying this is a can't miss. This is the Bish's can't miss match of the week.
This might be match of the year. Shit, you not. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm
Well,
pumped.
because I lost last week, I think it's only fair I get to pick the first, and I think, and we are just doing this. It all rides on this one match, and so I am going to go with Will Ospreay to retain the IWGP Heavyweight Championship.
Okay.
I just can't see Ospreay losing to Zack Sabre Jr., who I like more as a wrestler. I gotta say, overall, Zack Sabre Jr. is one of my faves. What say you, Aaron?
I mean, it could go either way. If you look at it from Zack Sabre Jr.'s perspective, he just lost to Bryan Danielson at the AEW pay-per-view. Is it really in his best interest to lose 2 in a row against 2 stars? Or is now the time to pull the trigger, have him become the champ, and then he can go on to feud with Bryan in the future?
Yeah. Well, and with that, that's a good point. But that's AEW as well, and these are two NJPW guys. And I don't know much about New Japan. I watched it a whole lot more when the Bullet Club was part of the whole thing, or the Bullet Club is still there, but when the Elite, I should say, was there. But I believe that Will Ospreay is kind of their ace right now. I think he's their new Kenny Omega, and I think he's fairly well protected to the point that it was when they first fought Kenny and Ospreay, it was surprising. It was hard to call who was going to win that match because couldn't see New Japan letting Omega beat him. But then Ospreay got his win back and won the title back, and nobody really beats Kenny Omega. So I have to see. I have to say that Will Ospreay is very well protected right now, and so I think it's going to be him.
I've heard rumors that it's going to be Danielson and Sabre Jr. at Wrestle Kingdom in
Oh
January.
yeah,
So
yeah. Oh,
yeah,
okay. Wow.
so
Hmm.
this
That's an
big catalyst.
interesting.
But who
Yeah,
knows?
that's interesting. And so, are we sticking with the same deal here that if you lose, you have to eat ice cream with pickles, still pickles in it, and if I do it, then I got to do this mushroom thing again?
I think we should do it without ice cream.
Why? I think it makes it worse that it's with ice cream.
Really? You think it's worse? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, oh yeah, it's way worse. That's why it's mixing something that you hate with something that you should love. Ruining ice cream in the process, I thought.
Ruining ice cream.
That's what the idea behind it is that, it's taking something that you love and ruining it. So no, I
Okay.
don't think that the ice cream, I would much sooner just eat the mushrooms than have to eat the mushrooms dumped on ice cream like I'm gonna have to do after we do this segment.
Okay. Fair
Um,
enough.
yeah, and I hope I never have to do it again. And I don't think I'd have to do it next week. I got to be honest with you. I think I'm coming in strong. Um, we talked a little bit about Fastlane. You watched some of the show. What did you think? Was anything on there a can't miss match?
I missed the tag team match between Cody and Uso and the Judgment Day, the Judgment Day. Apparently that was good. My father-in-law said it was good. I don't know, but I did catch the triple threat match with the women that cost you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and that was good. That was a good match. But outside of that, man, it was the drizzling shits. Honestly, it was boring. I mean, yeah, it sucked. The Shinsuke Nakamura and Seth Rollins match, God, that was might be the worst last man standing match I've ever seen.
Wow,
Negative stars. Yeah, just total shits.
wow, wow. Negative stars. Okay, well, good to know. I think Meltzer gave a 4.5 right before we came on here, but
Gotta be kidding
Oh
me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He gave it a high rating. I mean, to me, it was a match that had a foregone conclusion. The only thing that sounded interesting to me about it after the fact, and if I thought about it a bit, maybe I would have changed my bet. You would have really won by a couple of matches. Then was I thought that maybe we would have saw Money in the Bank cash in, uh, especially. and then Priest taking out Seth Rollins and winning the championship there. Seemed like a great opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
Didn't. And so, yeah, fairly ho-hum pay-per-view overall. But tell you about a pay-per-view that is not ho-hum. We're still talking about it so many years later. 37 WrestleMania years later. WrestleMania 3 in Detroit.
Right.
At the what dome was it? The football dome? The Andrew Skinner football dome?
The Silver Dome.
Right. Where Hulkamania ran wild over Andre the Giant, and Hulk slammed Andre, claiming he didn't know if Andre was going to let him pick him up before he got into the ring. But the match that everybody really kind of talks about is Macho Man versus, I was about to say Tito Santana, Ricky Steamboat.
Yeah, this is the match that said everybody was talking about afterwards, and still is to this very day. People consider this the greatest match of all time, or even maybe the greatest WrestleMania match of all time at the very least. But yeah, you can see here, this is just nonstop action. There's 22 near falls in this match, like just unheard of at the time. There's a flying elbow. Look at that. And then George Animal Steel comes in, costs Savage. The match here. Steamboat rolls him up 1, 2, 3. New champion. Place goes nuts. I mean, yeah, you get classic match. If at any time, if you've never seen this match or you haven't seen it in a long time, go do yourself a favor, go on YouTube, find this match, because it's still to this very day chef's kiss.
So it's saying on this little clip that we're watching here, it's asked the question ahead of its time. Is it because of the near falls? I guess that's something that we weren't seeing in matches in 1980, what, 6, 87.
7, no. And I mean, behind the scenes before this match, Savage, he wrote this whole entire match out on a piece of paper. I mean, these guys were facing each other at house shows for like a month before this, and they would try different things, and whatever worked, he would take, and he would introduce it or include it in this match here. So what you're seeing here is like 22 different house shows spots put together into one, and it said like this, all the near falls. You did not see that back then, so the drama was heightened. I mean, everybody was into it. I mean, as you can see, it's just pinfall after pinfall. I mean, like, this is good shit. But yeah, so meticulous. And Steamboat even said, like, he was so stressed in real life trying to learn all the fucking moves, because I mean, there was like 200 something spots that they did, and it was just, I mean, I wouldn't know how to do it either.
No.
No.
You heard here, folks. I can't believe it. Aaron Bishop saying he could not do could not do Ricky Steamboat's part in the Ricky Steamboat Macho Man WrestleMania 3 match. Aaron, I don't know if I agree with you on that, but I think shows a lot of modesty that you would even consider it.
I mean, if if you take a look at one of our old BWF matches, I mean, maybe we could pull something like that off. I don't know.
I think that if we had that one match where maybe we had 4 or 5 spots planned out, and we nailed that. So,
But then yeah, your mind just goes blank. Like, it's crazy. Like, yeah, we can plan everything out all day long as much as you want, but man, as soon as you get in front of those people, and as soon as the adrenaline starts going and you start doing shit, it just,
yeah. The
yeah.
exhaustion too, the exertion, and I mean, you can see in that match that these guys are like a bloody mess, right? Like, so keeping all that stuff straight and the timing of it all, and yeah, it's impressive for sure. And we're still talking about it all this time later. And so, one of my favorite things about this whole feud is that Ricky, is triumphantly leaving WrestleMania with the Intercontinental belt over his head. He loses it fairly quickly after this in unceremonious fashion. because was allegedly blamed on his wife, saying that she wanted him home more, so he dropped the title.
Randy Savage, I mean, oh my God. So Randy Savage scouts Ricky Steamboat, picks him as his handpicked opponent for WrestleMania 3, suggests that he drops the title to this guy, and then Ricky Steamboat gets pushed to the fucking moon, and then 2 months later, yeah, his wife is crying for him to go home and be a daddy because they just had a little baby girl. And yeah, it's horrible. So we go into the archives before, it's another Macho Man episode leading up to WrestleMania 4, talk about how he won the how Honky Tonk Man won the Intercontinental Championship because it was supposed to be Savage. But anyway, that's all back in the archives.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, it's crazy how everything worked out. And then Ricky Steamboat goes to NWA fucking 8 months later. So
Yeah. And so, but this is not the last time that they would fight or have matches, right? Even after Mania, they would still continue having contests. What were they like?
they actually, after WrestleMania, they would fight 22 more times. Going around the loop, the house show circuit in America, they would fight in 14 steel cage matches and one lumberjack match before this feud was over.
Nice. And I don't remember seeing any of it, so I guess it's all really about WrestleMania 3 or nothing. And then, and we might have touched on this, I'm sure I would have asked this before, but do you think that this is Randy Savage's best feud or best match? Best match, we'll say, is WrestleMania 3 Randy Savage's best match? Aaron.
Oh my God. I would have to say,
Yeah.
I'd say yes. I'd say yes. I'm sorry for the pause here, but my brain, I was debating Warrior Savage at WrestleMania 7,
Ooh,
you
yeah.
know, Elizabeth in the moment afterwards. I mean, that's up there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's the best feud, but I'll give it the best match for Savage.
And what about Ricky Steamboat? Is this his best match? Because I think that's probably a trickier question.
It is a little bit trickier. If it's not, the Chi-Town Rumble with Ric Flair in '88 is, but it's like 1A and 1B. I mean, like potato potato. Those matches are, both of them are so great.
Cool. Well, there you go. And I guess that's it for this week's show. Thank you, Aaron. Love you, and we'll see you
Oh, no.
all next week.
Oh, no,
Make
no, no.
sure make sure to go to bwfpodcasts.com.
Don't think so.
What?
Let's give the folks what they wanted. They've been waiting all episode to see G. Patrick Condon eat canned mushrooms. He
All right.
fucking hates mushrooms,
Yeah,
so
I
it's gonna
do.
be
This
great.
is disgusting, and I can't believe that that we're giving this away for free. But we'll do it. Just give me 1 second here.
It should be a pay-per-view, right? While Pat Goat gets his mushrooms, I'll say again, visit us at bwfpodcast.com. From there, you can like and subscribe and share, download all of our episodes. We are now approaching 25, 26 episodes deep. I mean, I can't believe we've we've made it this far, honestly, and now being able to show it on video, I mean, that's just awesome. But yeah, you can also email us at bwfpodcasts plural at gmail.com. Patrick.
Hi. Yes. So debated. I debated what I was going to get in terms of the ice cream. I thought, would I get something that I really like to try and mask this the taste? Then I Googled mushroom ice cream. Turns out mushroom ice cream is a real thing. They say that it has kind of a chocolatey taste and then maybe a bit of an almond taste. So I thought maybe I would get an almond or a chocolate flavor thing. Ultimately, what I decided to do was pick an ice cream flavor that I'm never going to want to get again anyways. And so I went with mango raspberry, which is disgusting. I find mangoes disgusting. It reminds me of sushi for some reason. So mangoes were ruined.
Oh, mango is shit. You're right. Mango is fucking shit. It's gross.
So I didn't even. I'm kind of thankful that they turned this into an ice cream flavor, so that I can have it once and have it ruined and move on with my life. Yeah, see, this is gross. Smells like sushi to me. It's like raw fish for some reason.
But
So I think maybe it's because you can get mango on your sushi. It's the devil's. Ugh, it's actual chunks there. I'm telling you, I think that the ice cream itself is disgusting. Okay. Can of mushrooms these days. I don't know how much they used to be. I never buy the motherfuckers, but they're $1.75 now, and inflation,
Jesus.
man.
Imagine you can get them for 75 cents.
Yeah, is that true?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you used to work at a grocery store back in the day, hey?
Yeah. They were never that much.
I tell
That's
you,
crazy.
I don't know where this world's going, Aaron.
Hell in a handbasket, brother.
You said it. Okay, and so
What kind of mushrooms do you have? What's the name brand on those bad bitches?
it's no name sliced mushrooms. So I could have gotten whole mushrooms. Oh my god. I could have gotten whole mushrooms, or I could have gotten ones with stems in it. But I figured that the ones that have scarred me growing up were when I was forced to eat the sliced mushrooms from a
Okay.
can. Now I'll tell you. Now I'm like, ugh, pouring them.
Oh, Jesus. I fucking hate mushrooms too. Like this is I don't know, man. Maybe I should go with mushrooms as my punishment because this is making me squirmish. Oh fuck. Oh, it looks like dog food, man. What the fuck?
Oh my. The smell is rank, man. I can't believe this. Oh, it smells so bad. I can't believe people do this on purpose. All right. Oh, I shouldn't have poured the water in here.
No, probably not.
I really don't want to do this, man. This is all my idea too. Like, I'll do it with mushrooms.
This is fantastic.
Holy shit. Okay.
Holy fuck.
Coming up there for a second. This is fucking so bad. I gotta like find a calm, warm place in my mind before I do it. It already smells like puke, man. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, you thought I was gonna let you guys see me puke? I don't know if you know what I've been doing the past year, but I'm one of St. John's most sought out, most influential media personalities. You think that footage of me upchucking into a bucket wouldn't be saved and replayed over and over again by my enemies? Nuh-uh. There's no way I'm gonna let you guys have any piece of that. You know, maybe Aaron Bishop doesn't have much to lose. He can embarrass himself. Not me. And you should have known better, Aaron Bishop. Now, I'll keep doing predictions. There's no need to stop that. I'm just going to be better prepared next time. I'm just going to make sure that there's no more upchucking, if you know what I mean. Everybody knows it's rigged anyways. They weren't even your real picks. You know, I should never have been forced to go and embarrass myself like that. It'll never happen again. The only way that anybody ever sees that footage is if they pay me the big dollars, and I'm expensive. Better luck next time.
Oh, that was wicked. Oh, that was wicked. You don't have to eat any more, Bo. You're done. You're done. You're good. You're good.
Thank you.
You're good.
Whew. I know exactly how you felt now when you had to do the dill pickle thing, man.
Oh, buddy, I almost threw up then too, man. That was nuts.
Oh, that's awful. It smells awful here.
Oh, I bet. I bet. Jesus. Nothing but quality entertainment, folks. Thanks for joining us this week on the BWF podcast. I'll wrap it up for us. My partner is going to die. Yeah. So we'll see you next time. Same place, same channel. Have a good week, folks. Goodbye.